Hi, everyone. Good morning, good evening. Welcome to our show, Mindful Leadership Beyond Borders. I am Raj Vashisht, your co host, and I am joined by my lovely, beautiful co host, Betska K-Burr. Today, we are discussing a crucial topic trauma. Many of us experience trauma in our lives. So let's deep dive into this important conversation. Hi, Betska, how are you?
Oh, I'm great, Raj. Always fun to be with you.
Same here.
Great
Yes,
fun.
everybody know about Betska, my beautiful co-host and director. Betska, who have incredible journey and has inspired millions worldwide. The new viewers who are joining first time might be they don't know me and Betska. So that is why I'm giving this short glimpse about Betska's journey. She have a milestone experience. So I'm just giving you very short introduction. Betska developed developer of 80 plus award-winning methodologies called the science of mind kinetics, healing system, certified master coach, named 2019 and 20 top 100 global management consultants by CEO Today magazine. Coach and confident to individuals and groups in 50 plus countries. Co-host of podcast Mindful Leadership Beyond Borders here.
Yay!
And Canadian best-selling author of many books, including I Heal Me.
Mhm.
And the last one, Betska is a beautiful avid gardener, loves to hike, and creates healthy vegan food for her family.
Yes, yes, yes. Oh, fun, fun, fun,
I
Raj.
I'm so excited for this important topic, and this is
Yeah,
very important topic for
yes,
everyone.
it is
And your
vital. Hmm.
experience and your
Yeah.
background
Mm.
is very important for this topic, and I really wonder, and people will really eager to learn from you. So I'm
Mm.
asking you first
Good.
question.
Yes.
Veska, you have changed your title. Before you are an executive and life coach.
Mhm.
And today you are joining as a spiritual healer. Why have you changed?
Exactly. Why did I change? Like I've been in the executive and life coaching business for almost 30 years. And I realized that there's a great need for spiritual healing. Why? Well, because coaching is usually not enough for serious issues. Serious issues are often caused by traumatic events, which need to be healed at a spiritual level. And I'll talk about that as we go through the podcast. And therapy rarely can find the memories of therapeutic events, primarily because the memories are stored in the cells of our body and in our aura. So the spiritual healer knows how to access those memories. By I could tell you so many interesting stories. So, and also the root cause of some of our issues could be in former lives and former incarnations. And the client may not even be aware of the memory. They've got physical issues like cancer or whatever, and they don't know where it's come from. So only healing at a spiritual level can find it. That's why I changed.
Wow.
my title.
It's so
Yeah,
passionate.
it is. I
Like
tell you,
that.
no one is more fascinated and shocked than me because of what we're doing here. It's incredible.
Like, I'm thinking, why not I will create my new choreographer and fashion designer.
There you go.
No,
Forget
no.
about executive search, right? You
Yes.
become a clothing designer. That's funny.
And I'm asking you the very interesting question again. What is the
Mhm.
clinical definition of trauma? Trauma. That is very interesting.
Yeah, it is. It's very good. So if you go online, you're going to see all kinds of definitions, but basically it refers to your response to an event that maybe overwhelms you, and it can result in shock, denial, and changes in the body, mind, and behavior. And trauma is typically associated with significant events such as, and I'll give you just some ideas. We'll talk more about it as we progress here, but physical or sexual assault can be very shocking, right? So it causes trauma, not just to the heart, but to the mind, to the body. The body can go into shock. Violence of any kind or accidents, but it can also involve responses to repeated events like ongoing emotional abuse or childhood neglect. I had this one guy, I forget what grade I was in. He had some mental issues. And at lunchtime, I'd be eating my lunch. I think I've told you this story before, Raj, and he would blow up his paper bag. His lunch came in a paper bag, right? So he'd eat his lunch, then he'd blow up the bag and he'd sneak behind me and blow the bag up behind me,
Oh my gosh.
and make all that noise. And to this day, it's not a real serious issue, but it could be a serious issue. I'm afraid of loud noises like that.
Oh my gosh.
It's like, people do stupid things, right? They don't realize. So that's really the clinical definition of trauma, an event that causes shock, denial, or changes in the body, mind, and your behavior. Let's leave it at that.
So can you elaborate me by some examples of traumatic events? This is very
Mm,
important to understand
mm,
more deeper.
yeah. So here in Canada, the Indigenous people, the First Nations people, uh, ended up, our governments and churches forced them into uh, schools, Anglican and Catholic schools. And in some of these schools, the Indigenous children who were forced to go into those schools were sexually abused by the clergy and the nuns. So, and they were forced, they couldn't learn their language anymore. Right? We've had guests on our show who talked about that. So there's a lot of trauma in the Indigenous people, not just in Canada, in the US, Australia, so many other countries. Those children who are now adults are suffering from that trauma that they incurred. So we need to switch that trauma. We don't want them to see that trauma as a negative event because it'll never heal then.
Right.
And we'll talk later about how to heal something like that. Another example is sexual abuse by family members. I was sexually abused by my uncle. And then my mother didn't believe me when I went to tell her. I was only 7 years old, right? But my mother wouldn't believe me. And also, many times our parents who didn't know any better, I mean, we're not taught how to be good parents, but they would often suppress us and tell us how bad we are, that we're black sheep. Kids were black sheep and continually telling us how bad we are. Right, so that can really settle into the cells of our body. So after a while, we feel unloved, we feel unworthy. So I see that every day in my practice. Another example, one of my clients in Europe remembers being put in a hospital because his mother couldn't look after him anymore. He was only 3. And while working with me, he remembered that at 3 years of age, he was forced to wear shoes that were too small for him. In truth, when we went inside, he couldn't remember the event. But through my wisdom, I could see a pair of baby shoes. So I said, "Sir, why am I seeing baby shoes?" And he started to cry. He just bawled his eyes out because he realized that his mother didn't love him. She abandoned him in the hospital, and then his shoes were too tight. He was in great pain, and the nurses didn't care. So this 3-year-old, he's in trauma that nobody loves him. So, and he had that block for over 70 years.
Oh my gosh.
Carrying that pain in his heart that his mother didn't love him and the nurses didn't, nobody loved him for 70 years. We had to get rid of that. Because the thing is, it was causing him to move into dementia. He did not want to remember the pain. Another example of children being abused emotionally, spiritually, and physically can leave scars. And one of the bigger ones we have today is war.
That is really horrible.
You know, like the Russia-Ukraine war. And thank God President Trump is stopping all these various wars because, you know, all that killing makes us numb. It shuts our heart down. And we have 2 chakras. The heart has 2 chakras, the physical heart chakra and then the emotional heart chakra that sits above it. And a lot of our memories on trauma are stored in that emotional chakra. So I don't know of any therapist who knows how to get there. I don't know of other coaches who know how to get there, but we can get there because of the methods that we have. So I could go on forever, but it is horrible. War is horrible. Yeah.
So what happens if we don't heal our trauma? What is the consequence?
Well, I just mentioned dementia, right? People, Alzheimer's, they will go into, they just want to shut everything down. They don't want to remember. It's too painful. But then we can get some body-based effects like chronic pain, difficulty sleeping, chest pain, headaches. Trauma can even cause heart disease and cancer. And one of my clients has he's very young. He's in his mid-20s. He's from Europe, and he has a very severe rash caused by trauma. And he wakes up, he can barely sleep because the rash is all throughout his body, and he itches it until he bleeds. And there's no medical intervention like salves or anything that can help him. So we're having to dig deep to find what caused that. What is the trauma underneath that rash? And we're finding it, and it will clear up, no question. Well, those are just some examples. And it could be business trauma. You know, maybe your partner leaves you, your business partner leaves you, or maybe your boss was nasty to you. You work in a corporation or you work in government and your bosses have been nasty to you. So those, or a fellow employee treats you badly. I mean, these are all cases of trauma. And you may not think that they're serious enough to cause you physical issues or mental trauma. Trust me, they are deep enough. So we need to get at them.
Thank you. So let's
you.
take pause and we'll come back in our second episode.
Okay, sounds good.
Thank you.